I'm Malcolm McIntosh, otherwise known as the Motion Donor. I'm a multi-six-figure AI-proof business owner who life maxes while still making a ton of money. But life wasn't always like this. So at the age of 13, I got super depressed and tried taking my own life. I ended up in a 72-hour coma, and then once I woke up, they sent me in a mental hospital for another 72 hours. I ended up being like this lab rat for all of these psychiatrists. They were prescribing me this, that, every other week, and I kind of lost my head. So I decided to start self-medicating, and I decided what I'd start taking. So I started taking weed, and then it evolved to worse and worse substances, and I became a bit of a poly addict. I ended up in high school. I wanted status, I wanted people to recognize me, and I wanted to be cool, and none of those things happened. I was the laughing stock, I was the black sheep. I started trapping and people would rob me. I got jumped every other month. Like, I got kicked in the face, booted in the head, stomped on my back. That was happening every other month. I was an actual joke. I got in a couple fights, won a couple, lost a couple, that didn't matter. I got picked on pretty heavily. I was sick of it. So I decided to start getting affiliated with these people that were considered pretty scary. They weren't in high school, they were 22, 25, and they kind of liked me. They saw I had nothing to lose, and even though I got jumped all the time, I wasn't a bitch about it. Still stood on business, I still stood for what I said. I never backed down, and they recognized that and they respected it. They were involved in some really serious shit. I started getting involved in some really serious shit. Carrying weapons, getting into trouble, and I was super reckless, abusing prescription meds, lost cause. And I thought I was invincible. I started doing to others what I had done to me when I was at my lowest. I would jump people, I would rob people, I would threaten people, just to kind of gain back some of that aura that I felt I lost. Doesn't work that way. Then one night I went to a party with 5 of my friends, and I got ambushed by these guys I didn't even know, defended myself. 35 minutes later, I'm in a cop car. After 2 days, I was on phone with the court, charged with 7 different charges, and then it became 13, but I was on the phone with the courtroom, and my family put up all of their assets, their mortgage, grandparents, family, friends, my family, and there was like $2 million in assets. I still got denied bail. Remand for this time. So I wasn't sentenced. So I didn't know how long I was staying in jail for. I was super lost, but my whole life, ages 13 to 17, I always pitied myself. I always felt bad for myself. I wanted people to validate me. I had a total victim mentality and things needed to change. Jail made me realize nobody's coming to save me. I need to start being a man. I started reading my Bible, doing push-ups, praying every single day, and trying to improve myself to the best of my ability. I developed a lot of patience, a lot of clarity, and learned a lot about myself. Jail psychiatrist also started taking me off of certain meds. One of them was benzos, and he took me off of it on my 18th birthday. I was so upset about that, but I think that was the best birthday present I was ever given. So I started having actual ambition, actual drive, actual hunger, and then by month 2, a book came across my cell that changed my life, and that was the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I started understanding what business truly was and how the real rich actually live. I learned the game of business, but there was only so much I could do from a jail cell. However, I did start my own store. Every inmate in 1 chocolate bar, 1 bag of chips, 1 pop, and 1 bag of candy every single week. So it was pretty valuable. Started my own store, and before I left, I had 10 bags of chips, 8 chocolate bars, 7 bottles of pop, and 10 bags of candy. I also was owed 16 meal trays in total. So I was pretty up, and I understood leverage. I understood that people would rather have something right away for less in the future. So I could tell somebody, hey, do you want this bag of chips right now? I'll give it to you if you give me a bag of chips, a chocolate bar, and a bottle of pop next week. A lot of the time they'd say yes, or 1 bag of chips now for 2 in the future. That's double my return. So I realized people actually can't delay their gratifications, and they'd rather have stuff right away, and they'd rather know that they can have it. So I transferred that to outside in my first business. But we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves here. So by November of 2023, I got out on bail, but my conditions were that I was on 24-hour house arrest 7 days a week and had to be under the supervision of 1 or both of my parents. So that was pretty rough, but I was so happy. I now had access to a computer and whatever knowledge and whatever I wanted to learn. I started my first business, which was a print-on-demand clothing line. And I made a total of negative $122 because I made it all and I paid for the website, got everything set up, but I couldn't actually promote it because I wasn't allowed social media. Then I hyperfixated on stocks and investing, began building my own portfolio, and I actually started day trading as well. And I was making some trades that were really good, like 5 to 7% ROI, but it wasn't actually that much that I made because my capital was so little because I couldn't go and get a job, put it into this account, and then make it have a higher and higher return. It's very capped with what I could do. I learned everything about stocks, finance, and investing. And then 9 months later, I was sentenced to 2 years probation. The first 6 months of the probation, I had a curfew of 12 a.m. to 8 a.m., which is a bit important for later. I started my own window cleaning company. I went door to door, knocking on all of these people's doors, asking them if they were interested in my services. I was at sales at this time. I just said, hey, I'm Malcolm from Suds Buds. We do window cleaning. Can I interest you in our services? Well, 199 people said no. The number 200 door I knocked actually said yes for $200. So I realized, okay, each door I knocked paid me $1. That's not actually that bad. That's better than minimum wage. Got better and better at sales. We'd have $400 days, $800 days, and I got a buddy of mine at the time to fulfill the service on my behalf. It took a lot of hustle, and window cleaning gets done very, very quickly, so he wasn't actually all that busy. So then I bought a pressure washer, and we added house washing to the list of our services, and we were making a little bit less profit, but way higher ticket, and we'd have $1,500 days where I was pocketing $1,000. And this kept going and going, and we were making really good money. And then winter came along. I'm in Canada, so there was snow. We couldn't wash houses. We couldn't clean windows in the winter, and I kind of slacked off a bit. And I kind of felt like, okay, well, I gotta wait until it's spring. Around springtime, I finally realized, hey, I could do painting. That's more year round. And that's when Brush Buds Painting was born. This was my first real business where I had crews that I had to manage. I was selling high ticket. I was persuading people. I was fixing issues. I was building systems, and we'd have some jobs that were $5,000 to $15,000. We got a couple trucks, 5 to 6 employees. I didn't even know how to paint, which is very unorthodox in the region I was in, to not know how to do the service that you have a business of, but I made it work. It didn't matter. I hired people that did know how. You don't need to know everything. You hire people that do. Then I got off of the curfew part of my probation, so I was allowed to travel. I was allowed to go wherever I wanted, and I had a lot of money come, go on these nice vacations and really enjoy life. But I had it set up in a way where I was so involved in the day-to-day because beforehand, I didn't have any opportunities I was missing out on. Life at the max when I was on curfew wasn't all that much better than working, so I might as well just be allocating all of my time towards work. Sure, I was making $5,000 myself take home, but I was working 80 hours a week, so I was kind of a slave to my own business. And it wasn't until I decided I want to start teaching other people how to build their own AI-proof businesses, and I let go, and I let God, and I built systems that allowed me to make money while I traveled the world, while I enjoy nice meals, while I work on other things like making content for you guys and teaching you guys how. So now in the slow season, my business is making $20K a month. Then in the busy spring and summer, we're making $50,000 every single month. I have 3 company vehicles. I have 8 employees. They're all very good. I have a guy that handles everything and manages all of the crew members. So my personal service business only takes about 5 hours of work every single week on my behalf. Everything else is very, very systemized. So that's my story. I have my Instagram at The Motion Donor, and I have this YouTube channel just to teach you guys how, give you guys stories, knowledge, and make you guys be able to build your own AI-proof business. And if you want to eliminate all of the guesswork and know step-by-step what to do, I do have a paid course, which is Motion Unlocked. It's through school, and I'll have that in the description as well. Really hope you do subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more Motion.